Hey guys, I wanted to show you something that I decided to do in my food forest. I've got a lot of different plants and trees, and there's a lot of different names. Some of them are hard to remember, like this plant right here called a katuk. I have a carob tree over there too. It puts beans on it that are actually used for artificial chocolate. It's a cool tree, and it puts a lot of beans on it that you can turn into chocolate or cocoa. But I have a lot of different plants and trees that have different varieties. Like my mangoes, I think I have 5 different varieties of my mangoes, and I want to keep the varieties straight. I want to know which ones are which, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this plate aluminum that I got from the scrapyard when I was building my sawmill. So this is the sawmill that I built. What I used the recycled aluminum signs for was the blade and pulley guards. They're the black things. On the right one, I have a for sale sign taped to it. I didn't want to sell that thing, but when Hurricane Katrina dropped a tree on our house, I had to get all the money I could to replace our home with. And I sold it to a friend that I went to school with, who lives down the next road over. And I'm going to cut little rectangle tags that I'm going to put on the trees that'll last like probably forever, you know. I'm going to stamp them so that I can tell what plant is what, not only next year, but maybe in 20, 30 years, or maybe my children or grandchildren, whenever they're out here picking fruit in about 30 years. So over here I haven't gotten that one in the ground yet, but I have this one. These are miracle fruit trees right here. I have an olive tree. I have a Chief Kubo's Prize sea salad. This tree's pretty cool. It's a little bit wilted from the sun right now, but you can eat these in like a salad. And what I do sometimes when I'm out here working in the garden, I can't eat this whole leaf in one little thing, but I might walk by and I'll pinch off one of those leaves like that and I'll eat this. And here's my longan tree. There's a couple different varieties of those too. And here's a sapodillo tree. Here's one of my mango trees that I already made a tag for. As you can see, it's like an aluminum plate. And I stamped it. And on this one, after I stamped it, I painted the whole tag, and then I sanded the smooth part of it off, and it left some paint in there. But I really don't like that. So what I did on the next one, on this other mango tree, I think it was the mango tree. Yeah, let me go find it. Yeah, here it is. Oh, that's not it, but this is a tag that I made that I didn't put any paint in. It's a fruit cocktail mango. And I even stamped the date of when I put it in the ground. Here's the one. It's on this here longan tree. And what I did with this one, I painted it and then I stamped it. So the whole tag is painted and you can read the stamped part. And I like this one a little bit better. I think that looks better. So I'm gonna make one and show you how I made it. And these are stainless steel zip ties that I got from Harbor Freight. And I just put it on the limb. So this tree has plenty of room to grow this tag will last a very long time, and maybe later, if it needs to be moved, it can be clipped off and just reattached. Here's another mango that I need to make one for. This is a carry here. So these are the tools that I'm going to use, guys. I've got my grinder and wire brush. These tools I really don't need, but I'm going to try something to show you if you can do this with what I bought at Lowe's. I have a big shear right here that I can shear metal with, and I'll be using this to cut up some of the metal today, but most people don't have these. Need a drill with a bit to drill a hole in the little metal. I've got this scrap metal that I have left over from building my sawmill, and I'm gonna use this. It might look dirty and trashy, but I'll clean this up real nice. It'll look new before I paint it. But I got this at Lowe's, and if you wanted to do this, you could get this at Lowe's yourself. These, you can buy these at Harbor Freight. I bought the biggest. They're 3/8 inch because I have a problem with my vision, so I need something with large letters. But these were, I think, 28 bucks, maybe only 25. The next size down, I think, is 1/4 inch, and I think they're like 15. And there's a smaller size. I want to say it's like 1/8 of an inch, and they're only $10 for a set of those, and a ball peen hammer. Some cardboard to spray paint them on so you don't get paint everywhere, and you might need a cloth to clean up the aluminum plate before you paint it. So I'm here at Lowe's in the metal section where they have all of this angle iron and square tubing and rebar, and they also have these aluminum strips, and you can get these too. These ones are 1/8 of an inch thick. That's pretty thick. That's too thick to cut with a pair of shears or something. But this one right here is 1/16 inch thick. This you should be able to cut with some snips or something, and you could probably stamp in that easy. But they also have these little sheets, these little aluminum sheets. It's kind of expensive. But it's a lot thinner, but you could cut these up and use these if you don't have a big shear like I have. All right, so here I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna try to cut this piece of aluminum that I bought at Lowe's. I have these shears. I don't know if you have these. You might have them, you might not. But I'll try to cut them with these in case you do. Test it out for you. It's cutting it. It's just hard on my fingers. And it's bending a little bit. Yeah, it's not doing very well. So I'll try it with these now. I'm pretty sure that these won't work because these are actually for like thin tin, like aluminum pans and stuff. But I'm gonna try it anyways. I have a few pairs and they're old and rusty. They've been under the water in the hurricane, and I'm surprised that they're still working at all, but we'll try it. Oh, that's cutting it pretty freaking easy. Wow. So yeah, a lot of people have these. These work pretty good. Better than my big snippers. So I'm sure they'll cut very easy with this grinder. I'm not going to cut it with this grinder, but we all know it'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and make my first one out of this piece of metal that I bought at Lowe's. And I'm not going to cut it with my snips or anything. I'm going to cut it with my shear. This is a shear that I bought offline. I cut big sheets of lead to melt down for my sinker business, and this is what I use to do that, to make it into a size where I can put it in my melting pots. So I'm gonna put about a 6-inch piece in there, and this is gonna be like butter. I'll square up that other piece that snips. Made it kind of bent. I'm gonna put about a 6-inch piece in there, and this is gonna be like butter. I'll square up that other piece that snips. Made it kind of bent. This sheared it off real nice. But I don't want my corners pointy, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come snip these corners off. I'm gonna come snip these corners off. Not real good on that one there, but I'll make it work. Real nice and smooth now. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drill a hole in one end of it so that I can put the tie through there and hang it on the tree. I got a piece of wood and I'm gonna put that down so that I don't drill through my stainless steel table here. And when I do this, I like to go through it, and if you see my bit here, it's a stepping bit, and you want to dig in just a little bit to wallow that inside of it out a little bit so it's smoother. See how I did that there? And then when I wire brush it again, it'll make sure there's nothing on there that's going to snag on anything. We'll do that now. I decided to go ahead and do this side too, because you want to do that if you're going to paint it, and that'll help the paint stick to it. So I'll go ahead and paint this real quick on this one side. I'll leave the other side blank. I'll let that dry for a while. So while I'm waiting on that to dry, I'll go ahead and take a piece of this scrap metal, and I'll show you how I prepare it so that I can make a tag out of it. I'm gonna square it off here a little bit better, hopefully. Bit better. Now I'll take those corners off. Got hot. See, it's got some pits in there. It's just from wear and tear, but for the most part, that's clean. The back of it, I should have done that. I usually do, but I didn't. I'll drill the hole in this real quick. Nice and smooth. Better. looks real nice. Now I'll paint this one while I'm working on this one here. So this one is dry now, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Looks a little bit smoother and nicer, but it costs a little bit more money. It wasn't much. But the name of this tree, it's a carambola too, but it's a different kind. It's an Arkin. And see, that's why I need to mark these trees, because I'm barely going to be able to remember these. How do I expect my children or my grandchildren to remember these in 20 or 40 years from now, you know? So here we go. These have oil on them and they're really slippery. So that one's done. It bent a little bit more than the other one did, so just got to straighten it out a little bit. And that one's ready to go. All right, so this one's ready to go. I'll go ahead and stamp this. The tree that I'm doing this for is a carambola tree, and the variety is Sri Kembangan. And the carambola tree is a star fruit. So I'm going to get started on this one right here. That's the name. I like to put the date on there too, that I'm gonna put it in the ground. And that's it, guys. Tell me what you think. All right, guys, this is my carambola tree. This is the one that's the Arkin. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this tag on it. These cable ties, these stainless steel cable ties I bought, they're 25 in a pack at Harbor Freight, and they were $6. They have these little clip things in them, and when you spin it around and put it through there, it's just like a zip tie, even though this is smooth. So what I usually do, I'll feed this through and then bend this over a little bit right here, and put it around a limb. And see, it won't come loose. This limb probably isn't big enough really to hold that up right now, so I'll just probably put it around here. But I'll always be able to tell what it is. Here's my other carambola tree. This one looks pretty sad right now because I just put it in the ground yesterday. It wasn't a good day according to the Farmer's Almanac to transplant, but I did it anyways. I'm about to leave for about a week, and I don't want this plant to die because it didn't get any water while it was in the pot. You know, it's got a better chance in the ground. So here's my tag for this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it through. Oop, I bent it backwards. And I'm just going to put it around this stake because these aren't very strong yet, and I don't want to snap them off. And later on, I'll be able to either cut this off and put a new one if I have to, but it'll be able to slip right through there. And there are other limbs will come out of these a little bit later once this plant gets a little bit bigger. But for now, I just need to keep it marked so I know what plants where. Sometimes I'll bend these around there like that so that it sits flat. So tell me what you think. If you like it, hit that like button. I might not upload too many videos of my garden, but hey, I'm just showing you what I'm doing, man. Sometimes you gotta get dirty, and sometimes you gotta sweat to eat good.